What's it like owning a German import E36 touring that was never meant for USA consumption here in Florida, especially during hurricane season? Now, speaking of hurricane season, let me move to a more secure location that isn't the middle of this random field. My name is Raphael, and I love everything to do with cars, so much to the point where I'm filming this YouTube video right now in the middle of Hurricane Ian here in Florida. All right, let's get right into the video. As I just mentioned a few seconds ago, it is right now a hurricane, but hey, I got motivation to film a video, so I'm gonna do it even if it's in this DMV drive-through thing. In case some of you guys are curious how I came to own such a random German civilian car, let me give you a little explanation. About a month ago, I was on vacation in Germany, and I was kind of looking through the classifieds here and there, looking to see if there was something under 5,000 euros I could just bring back with me to the States, and this one popped up to me about an hour away from Dusseldorf. I just had to look at it at the very least. From the ad pictures online, it looked extremely clean and original, and I just drove to the car dealership, and it was just in the showroom, and after taking a 5-minute look at it, I knew I just had to have it. Right now on the screen, I'm going to put a picture of the car in the dealership. As you can see, it was in very nice shape. It looked like a 1990s dealership too, so it looked kind of like in the time period. I don't really know if that makes sense, but I thought it was pretty cool. A few days later, I came back to the dealership and I bought the car. One of the coolest things about buying a car over in Germany is the fact that you get to drive it in Germany before you bring it back, obviously. And I went on the German Autobahn. I took a picture of it just next to some random German buildings and next to some random European cars because I knew this would be the last time this vehicle would ever even see its home turf. I also sent it out on the Autobahn. I only got up to 190 kilometers an hour because that's all I felt comfortable doing because I did have to get this car to the port. The dealership I bought the car from conveniently has done business here in Orlando, Florida before, so he actually shipped the car back for me. He set me up with all the information, but of course I had to pay for that. If anyone's interested in that, comment down below if you guys want to see how much this car costs me and all the exact fees and import stuff. I do have a video of that on my TikTok, but if you want to see a YouTube version of that, I can do that. Just let me know. A few weeks later and a ton of paperwork, this car is right here in Winter Springs, Florida. It's very weird driving this car here around Oviedo and Orlando and all the highways like the 417 over there, knowing that I drove this exact same car on the German Autobahn. I don't want to say it's deja vu, but it's a weird feeling I've never experienced before. It's something I feel like you'd only feel if you bought a car in a certain country, you brought it back. If you bought a car like from Japan that's already here in the United States, you wouldn't get that same feeling. It's something that you'd have to go to the country to get. For those of you who don't know, the E36 Touring was never sold in the United States. I mean, hence why I brought it here. Now I would have just got one here. So naturally, you'd think that this car would get some sort of attention, being that some people have never even seen this car before, even though this car is 25 years old. The type of attention that this car gets is from people who you want attention from. Let me explain. With a Lamborghini, you're gonna get attention from literally everybody, and it's just gonna be, I guess, annoying after a while. I mean, I wouldn't know I've ever had a car like that. With a right-hand drive Japanese car, you're gonna have boomers who are gonna be like, why is your steering wheel on the wrong side? And a bunch of questions like that all the time. This car, though, NPCs here really don't notice. It just looks like an old BMW to them, and to be fair, it really is just an old BMW. Only comments I've gotten from non-car people just around, walking around, like at Publix and gas stations and stuff is 1, manual transmission, and 2, the license plate. They don't mention anything else about the car, which I find pretty interesting. But the best part is when a real car enthusiast spots your car, they'll make sure to let you know. I'll only get thumbs up from people in like cool cars like S14s, E46 M3s. I got a random thumbs up from a dude in the Diesel X5 and just the most random places, and it's always only car people. So this has the if you know, you know status. Honestly, what I've been doing with the car the whole time is just daily driving it like a normal BMW station wagon. My 4 Series is right now at home just on jack stands because there's some boost issue, and this thing's been pretty dead reliable to me, knock on wood. That's not wood, but you know, it has the spirit of it. I mean, it's got a pretty big trunk. I mean, I even have this water bottle I brought from Germany at a Rewe supermarket, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna keep that in there. Like, there's no reason for me to throw that out. I've got seating for 4 adults comfortably and 5 in a really tight squeeze. I've got Bluetooth audio, ice cold air conditioning, an easy to drive 5-speed manual transmission. When I first was looking for cars to bring back to the United States, it was gonna be more of a novelty item, but this has accidentally turned into my daily driver, and I'm not really even complaining. Another concern I'm sure some of you guys that don't know have is fueling. Of course, they have different ratings over in Germany, but luckily they put the AKI thing, which is, well, this thing takes 89 as a minimum, but I put 93 in it anyways because, you know, I feel like that American quality gas is worse. And I know that's probably just me being stupid, but you know what? I guess I'm kind of stupid. I don't know if I said it in the video, but this is a 320i, which features a 2-liter M52 B20 inline-6 with 150 horsepower, which really isn't that much, but it's actually not that bad for this car, which only weighs 3,300 pounds. And this car being optimized for the German Autobahn means that it keeps it pretty well with other cars in the I-95 and the 417. I've been cruising with this thing on the highway at like 85, 90 miles an hour, and it just takes it without even a hesitation. Now, one of the conclusions I've come to about my E36 Touring is that I love dailying this thing because it's such a regular car from a place that's 10,000 miles away, which makes it irregular in a place like this. The fact I'm in a BMW in Florida with cloth seats, kilometers per hour here, a station wagon, no sunroof, just a weird oddity Euro-spec car it just makes it way more enjoyable to have a daily than it would be just to have a regular like US spec car. Now, I am very much a sucker for novelties, and this is a very big one. And of course, all novelties wear off after a matter of time, but for the meantime, I really am enjoying this car, especially here in the United States. One concern many people have when importing a car from other markets like Europe and Japan is serviceability. This is one of those cars you can kind of get away with that issue. While this car does have some differences from its US counterparts, like it has glass headlights, different style wheels that weren't offered here to my knowledge, and the fact that from the rear doors onward, it's completely different than any other E36 sold here, it's very similar under the hood. Even though this exact inline six was never offered in any USA application, it is very similar to other M52 counterparts. It's got the same Vanos variable valve timing system, it's got the same oil filter, it takes the same oil, it's got a very similar intake manifold, the valve cover gasket I believe is the same, and just a bunch of other components like air filters, radiators, it's all the same. I could pop over to AutoZone, I can get a bunch of things that are the same. I have no idea why I said same so much, I apologize for that. When I first bought this car, it had something wrong with it, the crankshaft position sensor, and I actually didn't fix that once I got back to the United States. I walked into AutoZone and I said I had a 323i, and they gave me a crankshaft position sensor, and it fixed the issue. It's the exact same one. That theme of similarity goes from under the hood to the interior. I mean, this is the same mirror control switch. These are the same window switches as the US E36. Climate control panel is the same. I mean, a lot of this stuff is the same. Now, one thing I'm always worried about is if I got rear-ended and this tailgate was just crushed, I don't even know where I'd find one here in the States. I mean, you can't find one here in the States. I'd have to just call a junkyard in Germany and hope they have it and hope they can ship it. But that's one of the risks of having an imported car here. Speaking of getting hit, you're probably wondering, how's this thing insured? Added it to my auto policy for State Farm. I just walked into my local office in Oviedo and I gave him the VIN. I told him that this car is imported. And it took him a few days. It wasn't an instant thing because she had to go back and forth with corporate because it was a special procedure. But I got insured and it's only about $200 a month for full coverage. So overall, what's it like owning a European import car here in Florida? Now, of course, this answer varies from car to car. I mean, if I bought a Citroen X7 and brought it back, there's no similar parts at all shared with any vehicle here, so my answer would be different. But in the case of an E36 Touring with a very similar powertrain sold to its US counterparts, I'd say it's a pretty good experience so far. 80% of the parts I need for this car are available at my local O'Reilly's and AutoZone. It blends in with normal traffic so NPCs don't stare at it and stuff like that and maybe cause an accident. It's a conversation starter with the people I want to talk to, which those people being car enthusiasts that share the same passion of weird and unusual cars like me. And for under $10,000 in this case, you can have a weird daily driver that really no one else in your town will have. And for me, that makes it worth it. Now, when it's not Hurricane Ian outside, I will be making a full review of this car and documenting a bunch of other things with it. So I would say stay tuned for that. From a content perspective, what do you guys want me to do with this E36 Touring? Like, I'd like to do one of those like right-hand drive, go through backwards, drive through, crank things, but this isn't right-hand drive, so I can't do that. But what do you guys want me to do with this car? If you subscribe, you won't miss another update with my touring. Have a good day, guys.